We'll call
That's kind of like,
call the Planning and Zoning Commission, December 6th, order roll call
Poole,
here.
Gallion,
Here?
Hofstadter. Here. Schrock,
here,
Hubner.
Here.
Kahn,
Here.
Kreider.
here.
Have the review and approval of the November 1st, 2023 meeting minutes. Any corrections or additions?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Hofstadter,
Aye.
Kreider,
Aye.
Schrock,
Aye.
Gallion,
Aye.
Kahn,
Aye.
Poole,
Aye.
Hubner.
Aye.
Under Board and Zoning Appeals, we're gonna do the last one first. Adam Hirschberger has asked for consideration of allowing a storage container if it were modified to look like more of a traditional storage building. Nate?
All right, so Adam Hirschberger is here with us tonight. He has a place at 135?
Yeah.
135 Port Washington. Put in a storage, or a shipping container, I should say, as a storage building. Unaware that we don't, that we don't allow those here in town, so we saw it go in, I sent him a letter, he came in, we talked. Then he provided these drawings, asked if it would be any consideration if it were to have a sloped roof on it, put the siding, or not siding, but
Like wooden board.
boards
Yeah.
around it to make it look more like a traditional shed, if that's something you guys would consider allowing or not. I told him that's beyond my pay grades. That's not a decision I can make, so that's why I would bring it to you guys. I think the intent with the shipping container discussion, however many years ago, was they're typically not in a very good condition. What you see, they're rusty, they're beat up. If you've driven by and seen his, it's very nice. I mean, it's in pristine condition. It's painted dark gray,
Black.
black,
Like matte black.
matte black. Yeah, I mean, it looks very nice. It's clean. It's just still doesn't meet our code. So, I guess the question is, if it was converted to look like a shed, would it be allowed to be considered a shed then, or not?
Is there anything in the ordinance that prohibits this? I mean, it's a shipping container on steroids, basically, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so, but does the ordinance doesn't prohibit the use of using that as like a shell as long as it's covered up, does it?
I don't
That's the
know.
big
That's my
question,
question. Yeah, I don't.
Because I think, I mean, just to look at the drawing, it looks like a contemporary looking storage shed, so.
And he did put a man door in it. I mean, it's not like it's got the swing open doors. It's got a man door.
So Adam, did you cover it up yet, or did you just stop once?
No, I stopped. My intent wasn't actually to cover it up. I thought about putting like a storage building there, but I honestly, my dad did Airbnb, Woodside Airbnb, and this is basically a mini of that, just off the road behind the golf course.
Oh, I see.
Yes. So that would be the exact same look, the boards at the bottom, and if I did do the roof, like a slanted roof, like you said, completely repainted. I was actually gonna insulate it, do electrical and drywalling, completely finish it out on the inside. Yeah.
But it is just going to be a storage shed, it's not intended
Yes.
to be
Right.
anyone living, okay.
Yep.
Well, to me, I drove past and looked at it before I even knew this was coming up. It's still just a storage container in my eyes. And it wasn't until I drove past it that I saw the other door. It looks like a window probably
Right.
in there. But to me, it's still a storage container. A shipping container, I'm sorry. So,
Even if it was skinned to look like a shed, you would
I think you're getting into the area where we need legal advice there. My opinion.
I worry that if we allow, you know, this has been dolled up and made to look good, but the next guy comes in and has one that isn't dolled up quite as much, you know, then we're making a decision based on design, and I'm not sure if that's a slope we want to start down.
Cause the next one could actually have the barn doors on it,
Right,
instead of
right.
just the main door.
Yeah.
It's the way I look at it is, I understand it's a shipping container, but like, I see it as like a part of the structure. Like, I have still quite a bit of work to do on it, you know? And like, the roof would be completely seamless. It's the exact same concept of the Airbnb. I honestly don't think you'd be able to, which right now, yes, I haven't done anything to it except set it on the blocks. And then it really looks like a shipping container because it's elevated. I want to put it on a foundation. I see it as like the part of a building. Yes, it is a shipping container, but also I would see it as a part of a structure that's pretty far from completed.
What does the ordinance actually say? Hey, do you have that in front of you? or-
Pull it up. It just says they're not allowed to be used.
I think it looks nice, Adam, based on your drawing.
Thank you.
Okay, to actually just see the container, I probably have the same point of view as
I agree.
what Dave mentioned. You know, I don't wanna open up a can of worms either, you know, but I don't know what the language says, and we might have to, you know, talk to our village solicitor a little bit more about it.
When he'd come in, we talked about, I think if it were to be allowed, I think the ordinance would have to be changed the way it's written now. It just says a freight or shipping container shall not be used as an accessory building or structure.
I very much want to make something work, so please try to work with me, we can make some changes stuff, I'm completely open to that. I see your guys' point of view, you know, but I still want to make something work, and, yeah, I'm open to change stuff and whatever we gotta do, yeah.
So Brad, do you wanna table this until we can confer with the solicitor?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I think it is.
So that's something we could still talk to our attorney yet this month
Okay,
and, bring it back for January's meeting.
That makes sense, Adam.
yep,
Okay.
sounds good. And I appreciate you guys not just writing it all, saying it's a shipping container, so I really do appreciate that, guys, and thanks for your consideration.
All right,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
We should have a motion to formally table that.
Okay, I'll make a motion to table Adam Hirschberger's request to make his shed from a storage container.
I'll second.
Con,
Aye.
Kreider,
Aye.
Schrock,
Aye.
Gallion,
Aye.
Hofstadter,
Aye.
Poole,
Aye.
Huber.
Aye. Thank you.
Now we'll go up to a change of zoning district request. John Molly has submitted a change of zoning district request from PPN 071235500, 07 0135 4000, 07 0135 3000, and 0701 35 8000. Specifically, the request is change the zoning district from R3 Village Residential to Spatial Use District to allow for the construction of a mixed-use residential project to include short, long-term rentals and camping areas. Nate?
All right, you should have all got a copy of the application, the narrative description, and then also the site plan that they provided for this proposal.
Snooks, Rob.
It's down.
Hey Nate, would you want me to hand these out?
Sure, sure.
So yeah, my name's John, Molly's right here. These are kind of some of the styles that we're looking to build. That's a lot of zeros to say.
Yeah.
You got through the,
Thank you.
Thank you. So the proposal is 2 6-unit long-term rentals, we'll call them.
yes,
Triplex, which I believe is also long-term.
correct.
And then there is one, I lost track here, I'm sorry. There's a cabin, the barn house, three,
It'd be
four,
seven short terms.
yeah. Yep, some short terms, and then a camping area to the north of the northernmost parcel with bathhouse, sports court, all the amenities for primitive camping is what was proposed. So truly a mixed-use development. We've not seen anything like this before. Pretty interesting concept. Sent out the surrounding property owner notifications. I got one phone call, showed them the submitted plan, and they thought it was pretty cool.
You only had one response.
One
from that.
response. Yep.
That's amazing.
Yep.
I would've thought it would generated some
Yeah.
interest, even just to find out what was going on. Interesting.
Guess if I'd have just read your narrative, it says how many short-term rentals
Yeah.
there are.
Okay.
Forgot that was in there. So obviously, this would require the rezoning from single-family to special use district, which is a good district for this kind of proposal. As I explained to them, I've explained to you guys before, anything that would be approved, that's the only thing that's allowed to be constructed. If plans change down the road, it would have to come back to you guys for approval.
Are these, what I'm seeing here, square footage wise, are these the actual sizes you'd be looking at? I mean, 196 square foot?
Not 100%, this is more of the look, but the sizes would vary a little bit in between each dwelling, yes. Yeah.
Those are just renderings to give a rough idea of
Okay.
the look. If you would like, we have, from Tecton, the blueprint that would actually show the dimensions that we've discussed with them. That would give a better view of what the actual square footage would be. But those at least would mock, the potential sizes of what they would, and we could get you guys a copy of this as well.
I'd just be curious to know what type of square footage you're looking at here per building.
I'll just interject.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just say that all of the structures, we were planning on putting designs together for each one whenever the time came. So whenever they wanted to move on it, we would put together a design for the structure that seemed to work with what they wanted and then.
Is our square footage requirements gonna come into play here, even these rentals? I would assume.
The square footage requirement comes into play in the R3 district for single family in the R3 district. In the special use district, there is no requirements.
And this is very different than dropping a tiny house into the middle of a residential neighborhood and
Correct.
with surrounding properties. It's an entirely different animal.
You have a bigger map than just this one,
Yeah.
by chance.
Yeah. We have two copies. They're quite big, but,
I'm not gonna play so much on like the Berlin Woods scale. but like the concept of different styles of structures is kind of the look and feel of it. But certainly not as some of those structures, I don't know if you guys have been out there, but they're pretty large.
Just need to see it.
Nate, do you know offhand the size of the cabin, the trailside cabin? Is that whole area, is that all special use back there as well? Okay.
Is that what coming?
That all came in.
I mean, those are small, they're not bad at all.
Right. But they're definitely not this small, but
Yeah, I mean, these here.
those are.
Yeah, those. I'm concerned
These look like the campsites here.
Yeah,
But again, you're down over a hill,
yeah.
you know, from the residential neighborhood. I mean, it's just, it's a different animal, it really is.
And these right here, right along the trail.
So, this that you handed out says cottage,
Yes,
10 by 20, it's 200 square feet, right?
correct,
So it'll be relatively close to that for the
Correct.
cottages,
correct.
okay?
And the smaller ones that are on there, those are for short-term rentals. The one that you were asking about, Jeff, those are the short-term rentals. The long-term rentals on the, I believe it's the back 2 pages of the stapled paper he handed you guys. Those would be a better representation of what the long-term rental of the apartments would be, is to just to clarify.
Okay, thank you.
It'd be nice to, I guess, be able to see a building here versus.
So then the large cabin is a short-term rental or long-term?
Short term.
Okay, and it's 816 square feet,
Correct, that would accommodate more like 2 couples that are vacationing or traveling.
okay?
Real close to it. Be really close to it.
And then the 2 full bed, 2 bath farmhouse, 1152,
Trail side cabin.
and that's long-term,
It is quite.
Okay.
short-term,
You won't get to the long terms until the very last 2 phases.
okay, okay.
This used to be
They go like hotcakes. And this summertime.
There's nothing in there but trash.
It's right down by my
I see a
house.
lot of traffic going back that road.
Oh, these 2 pages,
I mean, and they
these
rent
2
them out.
pages, 2 beds, yeah, okay.
A couple of them were in it. Here, the sanitary.
So in the long term rental, we are planning on doing a 2-bedroom and 1-bedroom option. So that's why you do have both of those renderings there.
They mention it here in the narrative, but I can also attest to, we've had numerous calls over the years from, I don't know what you call them, through bikers, maybe? The trail users that are on long trips, that'll be stopping in Millersburg, and we've given permission to camp down at Airport Park, because there's no other camping areas, or they're looking for something primitive. They always ask.
This would be
place they
fine
can
over
shower.
in the old fairgrounds, would be ideal.
I'm sorry.
If this would be over on the old fairgrounds, would be ideal.
Yeah, it's not an option over there.
And if I can interject, my wife Molly ran the Columbus Marathon this year, and so I would go and train with her, except when she was doing the longer distance ones, I wouldn't, but we would run into numerous people all summer long, people biking from Columbus to Cincinnati, people biking across America, and they come through Millersburg on 62, and we've met people from, there's a gentleman from Zanesville, hey, where can I camp tonight? Can I camp right here by the depot? And we're like, you probably can. We didn't know, we didn't look up the rules or anything, but this would offer a safe place, an organized place, a place under surveillance, a place that generates revenue, where people can come along the trail, local and visiting people that could see at the campground, yeah.
You said this is on Hickory Street? That's what I thought it said, Hickory.
There's Hickory right there. See, this is behind the old Flexi.
Oh, okay.
Flexi come down here.
Can you come down
See,
here?
there's one on the street.
Okay.
Oh, Flexi's up here, visualize something
Yeah.
Flexi would be
right
old
now,
Flexi would be
so.
right up in
So
there.
these 3 units
This
right
is-
here,
right
okay,
almost
so
behind
tiny
the
house
auxiliary
cottage, so is that what
building.
this
Yeah,
would be?
it'll be
It
something
runs
similar to
right
that,
in
yes.
front of the auxiliary
Okay.
building.
And
In front of
then,
where?
Right in front of the auxiliary building in the village.
What-
out there.
This would
What
be
is
the
that? It takes you
Barnhouse
right towards
Plus.
Old
It would be
Flexi
labeled,
Village Motors. What is that street?
Oh.
Jones
Fourth
Street.
page, maybe?
You got Jones. which is across the way.
But that's across the way, right? That's
Yeah.
across 83?
Yeah,
Is it walking?
So does it come on the west side of 83? Okay.
Got the title kind of over the grass.
See, this is.
Oh, it must have printed funny, yeah, sorry.
Is that it?
Yeah, I know where
That's just-
Walnut,
that would
Walnut's
be
the one
more
that goes back
accommodating,
past the historical
If,
building.
you know,
Mhm.
two couples want to
Okay,
come.
and this is Hickory, this comes
Two bedrooms.
right back around.
And
City
there's a bunch
building,
of
city
houses right
building,
back here.
yeah.
Right.
This is all
Okay.
houses.
And these first
City
two
building
are
over
permitted.
Yes.
Yeah, those,
Right. It truly does end
your
right here, the
leases,
street, there's a little turnaround down there, right?
Yeah.
There's a cul-de-sac right at the
Yeah.
end of
Okay,
that.
so what
And that's, I went down here thinking that's what they were
accessible
talking about.
campsite, that means
But
nothing.
you're saying it's on over.
What,
Well,
Uh,
it's that
so
whole
basically,
area
it
that
will
will
be,
we
yes,
do have some
it
easement
it wraps
access
around the back
already
and
to
goes
the rails
almost all the
trails.
way over to.
And then also they would
Okay.
have, say that somebody wants to camp.
Well, where are we gonna
they're
get
bringing
into
their
this?
car in,
We're
they
gonna
can
come down
park
off
here,
of here?
and then they would have access
Yeah.
there.
So it's just a
Is that what they're
campfire.
talking about? Coming down
It's
off
gonna
that
be
steep bank.
just a gravel pad,
This was all
probably
gravel,
two
this was
outlets,
all old
you know,
gravel
30
pit,
so they can charge an
land
e-bike
fill.
or their phone at
Okay.
night.
All track.
Yeah, and a picnic table.
Okay.
So very, very basic primitive campsite.
It's
setup.
primitive, all right. You're gonna find, might even find a body down here, I don't know.
And I think it's just something valuable, like the rails to trails is such an attractive thing, people use it all the time, and to not have a place that people can stop on a bicycle, rather than, you know, and obviously there's a lot of hotels and things like that, but these guys already have their tents with them, they're camping in other states and other counties, why not in our county? So,
I think it's a neat idea. I'm a visual person. I
Yeah.
want to be able to immediately see what is on the map and go back and forth. That's,
Why not consider the old
Something.
fairgrounds? I mean, sure it floods, but it doesn't flood every summer, and these
not an
people
option,
would
Dave.
be able to, what?
It's not an option.
Not an
You can't-
option?
No, there's a conservation easement over that entire property, you can't do any development there.
Also, sorry, I was trying to play into it. Also, our intention is not to, like, we want to keep as much foliage where we are, and I know people probably just say that to make it sound like we have a green footprint, but we want to keep the trees, we don't want it to be an eyesore, we want it to kind of be hidden away for a place to come, but it's not like the first thing that people see, and so over in, the fairgrounds, it's just kind of wide open, there's no seclusion, there's no just, intimacy or anything, you would just kind of be out in the open for everyone.
Well, what about these people that live up here in these other houses, they're gonna be looking right down on that.
Well, and again, we'd like to keep as many trees as possible, we've already talked with, we've walked the land with some builders, and, we'd like to go through and flag as many trees as possible to keep the foliage, and then just take down what's obviously needed for the road to go through, but we're not coming to be a nuisance to the neighbors, we wanna add value, and especially for us, we live right in town, and so we understand the value. The brewery's amazing, the ice cream place is amazing, and, it would be nice to have sustainability even be brought more to Millersburg, so the stores could potentially pick back up, and, it is close, but, yeah, I don't know,
Hey, Dave, in regards to your statement, the fact that no one in that neighborhood had any concerns with this development, other than one, and what was the question?
He just wanted to see what it looked like when I showed him
So,
what you
I'm,
guys were looking at. and you-
I mean, that, to me, that kind of speaks to itself, that they don't really object to this. And I guess when someone mentioned trailside lodging, I guess if you look at that, I mean, that's a nice little area, and basically, this is gonna be the same thing, just a little more spread out and a few more buildings.
are you going to be elevated enough to where you're out of the flood waters that come down the
Yeah,
hill? Or?
the only thing would be in question is the primitive sites, but if they
Yeah.
are far enough east, the ground does raise quite a bit. And Jason, we put all those in that area so they're not in the floodplain, correct?
And this blue line is the floodplain line, is that right? Okay.
There is a dwelling on the drawing for a septic system, and that would not be needed, just because the city utilities are right down there. So it's that large blue block, this
You
one
take
here.
that.
That one would not be necessary, so,
This one here.
'cause I think that one is the only thing that's in the plan.
Substation. Well,
Nate,
it's
do you see any issues with this?
What's the access to this?
Hickory, off of Hickory. Street.
Off of Hickory, come down over the bank.
Okay.
Hickory, and then there would be one more point where we would like
Yeah.
to, you can kind of see where it comes to a point.
Yeah.
There's another point that comes
By the retread
right
shop.
here,
Okay.
and there's
okay.
actually already gravel there. And so one thing that we would like to consider is potentially, we've talked with Nate, obviously, on, you know, if we did it to the village standards, then we could donate it, it could be taken care of, but otherwise, it could be an access for other people to come in. That way there wasn't a bottleneck of traffic right here, even though we don't see there would be a bottleneck. Maybe it may look like a lot, but in reality, it's about 6 acres, spread out. So, but that would be a potential that we would like to see, adding in another access point.
What's the green line, the FM on the drawing?
Oh, that's probably representing the sewer line. So,
Yeah, force main.
And all of the kind of what looks like a road winding through there, that is all planning on being paved?
Yes.
Okay.
And are there any, would this be required to have fire hydrants down through?
No, so we've talked, I explained a little bit how the utilities work. If they extend them, and they can keep it themselves, or they can extend our mains, put it into our standards and dedicate it to us. I don't think that's the intent. I don't wanna speak for you, but I don't believe that's their intent, is to extend public mains down through there.
Correct.
So it'd be more of tapping into the existing main. There's a main that runs down through the property, if you look on the drawing.
Would that be the same thing with the road?
Yeah, and so everything they put in would remain theirs for maintenance.
So in a perfect world, if you were given the green light, when would you want to start on this?
We would be looking at probably after like the first quarter of next year. So like in a 5 months rough time frame.
How visible is like the bathhouse from the trail? If you're riding along the trail, will you be able to see this building?
Yes, you would be able to see it.
The reason I ask, will that be controlled in any way as far as like a locked?
It will be designated for paying customers only.
Okay.
So we could have either an access code that, you know, that will work for them. But yeah, so the idea would be anything public would, you know, you could go down to the depot, they have a 24/7 restroom. This would be for our, like the paying customers only.
Okay, I was gonna say I would recommend
Yeah.
controlling the access with
Yeah.
the,
Yeah.
And I would imagine we would have like security cameras and things like that, but,
okay.
And just, I think you asked earlier, the house, the cabins would have a different look to them, but they would all be super cohesive, even the bathhouse in itself. So it's intended to be very, very cohesive and just be pretty. Like we don't, everything would just seem very flowing. We don't want random things that don't fit in. Even though, you know, the primitive camping would be different people than the short-term rentals, the bathhouse. And I think there is a drawing of the bathhouse in your pamphlet, but you can tell that just the genre of the building fits in with the rest of the structure.
Any other questions?
I think it's a pretty cool idea. And when Nate first sent the information to us, I was looking for pictures of this, okay? And I got it now, and I'm trying to piece everything together, but I think it's a pretty neat idea.
yeah.
I'd make a motion to approve, unless, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I just have one more question.
Yeah.
How many people, if everything was full down here, your short-term rentals, the regular rentals, the camping, how many people would be in this area?
Yeah, we have them in, to do a quick math.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a neat idea.
It's land that's not gonna be used for anything
I
else.
know.
Why
Oh, I
not?
agree. I
Why
like
not
it.
use it?
I really like it.
Yeah, it's a
Well,
great
I
idea.
mean,
beneficial.
Brett, are you asking for like a total number of units or?
Total occupancy, right?
Yeah, what,
Plus 4.
the only thing that stands out to me as a question, well, two things really, is the absence of any fire hydrants down through there, because it is a long way away from where any existing fire hydrant would be, and if there were any kind of an issue down there.
There's one at the end of Hickory.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you get down to here,
You gotta go clear up there to the end.
There should be one right in the middle of Hickory too, right? And one at the end towards the street garage. I mean, Hickory Street should have one every 300 feet, correct?
There's one right at the turnaround on Hickory.
Right.
I
Cul-de-sac.
saw that,
All right.
so.
so how far then from the end of Hickory to the end of where these short-term rentals are?
I don't know.
Jason, the cul-de-sac to the first short-term rental, do you have a rough
And then
distance on
it's
that?
just,
Just a guess.
We're going from here, I'm assuming this way.
You're saying from here to like a curve,
Yeah.
Probably about 12 inches, 700 feet. maybe?
200, 240.
Okay.
And roughly speaking, if everything were booked and we left the way you think, because that would be nice.
That's the goal, right?
It would be about 28.
About
or
28.
46.
Or sorry, 46.
Okay.
Just math is not sure.
Did you say 46?
Around 46, yeah.
And also the purpose of the large cul-de-sac, kind of down at the bottom, would be, we spoke with Nate, like for EMT, if
Yeah.
someone needs to come down, or other larger vehicles.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm.
So then down here at the bottom, it's only primitive camping,
Correct. No campers,
No
no pool
true-
behinds.
no true building down at the bottom
Correct.
section.
Beyond the bathhouse.
You've got your bathhouse.
Facilities for the primitive camp.
Sure. Okay.
And it was discussed, there's those 2 squares that or the rectangles down there. And this could be something, if it makes sense, we do it, and if not, the one I would propose, it would be nice to have, but some type of structure down there, some type of pavilion.
Mhm.
The other one would be a sports court, but beyond that, there would be no other buildings down there.
Thank you. You might want to access control the sport court too, if people find out there's pickleball courts or something there. You might get random people
Keep
showing
them
up to play.
We rode our bikes Sunday at Walmart, and then on the way back, we stopped, we wanted to play pickleball, but the nets were down.
We played anything.
We just,
Nate, just a curiosity, do primitive campsites generate bed tax?
Ooh. I don't know. That's a good question.
When that's,
I'm-
to me, it'd be considered a rental.
I honestly
I
don't
don't
know.
Don't know.
Market,
But without a structure to go, I don't know.
I think that'd probably be a very hard question to answer, period.
Yeah, that would be
That would be a weed for campsite.
another question for Bob Mines,
Yeah,
how he would
since
enter.
there's no structure, how could you,
Right.
I don't see how you can, if there's no structure.
There's no bed, how can you tax it?
Yeah. That's a legal question.
Yeah.
This is also, I would say, this will be the last thing I say. Our plan is this because it makes sense with the space of the property. However, if we were to begin building as well, our plan is not to make as much money or fill this with as many rental properties as possible, because he and I have actually dabbled in a little bit, and you will find people, they want to be secluded, and so if we get to this place too where maybe there's not a good hidden spot where this neighbor can't see this neighbor, I would say that would be our only agenda, to change the infrastructure, and Nate has already expressed to us if any changes are to be made, we do bring it to you guys. But it would never be our intent at this point, especially with walking the property, to add more to it. No one wants to see their neighbor when they're on vacation, and so, or just in their own element. So that would, beyond talking about the infrastructure at the bottom, the only other change to infrastructure at top would be potentially to subtract, if it felt too congested.
So what you're representing here would be maximum.
Correct.
Is there any maintenance building, if you're gonna rent all these out, is there any laundry area? Anything like that going to be involved in this area?
Yeah, absolutely. That is one thing we don't have on this drawing, would be a small, fixed dwelling to, store like a chainsaw, wheelbarrow, kind of stuff like that, lawnmower, maintenance.
And we had also talked, like, potentially where the long-term buildings are, because we would be building into the hill, the basement of those buildings. They could be offered as paid laundry for tenants, paid laundry for the short-term tenants. There's also talk of having a gym for both long-term and short-term rentals. Again, that would be under a lot code, so not just any random person. And we also would not be looking to evolve into a gym for Millersburg. It would just be specifically for the tenants staying here. But if we were to do a shed, it would perhaps have a lawnmower and other housekeeping to keep the property up to shape, and that would be something that would be proposed. But it was, may I bring you in on this? The size of it would not be true in dwelling approval, or we had talked about, or was it with your name? I'm sorry. I don't remember.
I think it's gonna be dependent on as they see the need for certain things. If now they need to add washer dryers or something like that, the size, I feel like is gonna be relatively the scale that they're building here and the type of infrastructure that they see. So I don't wanna lock them into a certain size of structure or even location, but just know that that's something that would need to be added.
And would be discussed with the board before it was out.
Well, that would technically be a change from what
Yeah,
they're presenting,
so
so,
it'd have to
yes.
come back.
Yes.
To answer your occupancy, I think, don't hold me to this, but the way it reads, I don't think campgrounds would be required to file, because everything talks about, every definition that talks about, the use or possession or right of use or possession of room or rooms, space within buildings for lodging. It doesn't address camping at all.
Okay, I was just curious.
Any other questions?
That's a good question. There's a lot of campgrounds in the county. I'm wondering how they address it, or if they just don't collect on them. They don't meet the code or the requirement as a bed tax dwelling.
I think Brad made a motion, correct?
I did.
And to just, my normal spiel again on a rezoning, you're making a recommendation to the council on what.
To go from present zoning district R3 and changing that to special use.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Con,
Aye.
Gallion,
Aye.
Hofstadter,
Aye.
Uhl,
Aye.
Hubner,
Aye.
Schrock,
Aye.
Kreider.
Aye.
Alright, so the next step in this, we'll set a public hearing. That we have to have a public hearing before a council meeting, and then there'll be an ordinance that council will consider that night at first reading to change the zoning. That'll be, what are we looking at, January sometime. We have to have a 30-day advertisement period for that. We'll set it on the 11th, so it'd likely be January 22nd would be that public hearing, but I don't know that for certain yet.
Is that something that we have to be in attendance for?
You should be, in
Okay.
case there's any questions.
Yeah, just
concerns.
over that, yeah, thank you.
I'll let you know when that's set up for sure.
And have you guys already purchased this land, or is it contingent on this
Yeah.
being approved?
We purchased it 45, 50 days ago.
Okay.
Somewhere around there,
I would strongly urge you to be at the council meetings too. So it's always beneficial when things come up to kind of look at the people that have the big plans. So good idea, be there.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for your brainstorming.
Cool project.
Thanks for your time.
Good luck, it looks good.
You want your big map.
Mr. Bates, how are you?
Do you want to?
Good to see you.
That one I do, it's actually counting.
Put it in your scrapbook, right?
Yeah, cause look at, yeah. Can I keep
Because you
it?
have a piece of
I'm
property.
assuming January
No, I know. I wish I had property on there. No. Can I keep it or do you need it?
No, I can probably mark it up
This
again.
beats the heck out of looking at a laptop.
Yeah, you want me to sign it for you or anything?
Yeah. Maybe when you're all done.
All right, yeah, thank you guys.
Sorry, keep this.
Yeah, anything
All right,
that was
thank
handed to
you.
you guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Have anything else, Nate?
I don't, go ahead.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.